Eminem's daughter, Hailie, I know you miss your mom. I know you miss dad. That Mockingbird, I always think about that song. She, on her Just a Little Shady podcast, talked about hearing Eminem's Temporary song and watching the music video for Somebody Save Me, which are the two saddest songs on Eminem's Death of Some Shady album. I love the Temporary track. I love the Temporary track. That song is like, I think, one of Eminem's best tracks, and I think there needs to be a music video for that. Instead of, I get that Somebody Save Me because Jelly Roll's on there and he's more of a superstar versus Skylar Grey, but I think Temporary is just a better track than Somebody Save Me. But she hopped on her podcast and talked about, just in general, about, hearing her father rap about her and how she can never listen to the songs, like, because she just ends up crying. And I understand that. Like, we get emotional hearing these songs. Imagine the person that's being written about that hears these songs. So I don't blame her at all. She though holds her composure in the podcast versus her friend. She starting to cry, which is kind of like opposite. You would think Hailie would be the one who cries, and she doesn't. But yeah, enjoy the clip. Let's see what she has to say.
Speaking of things I watched this past week, which I guess I'll say watched, but like I refuse to watch again. The Somebody Save Me music video is out. And I did watch the thing. I watched it in entirety, and I don't think I can do it again. I definitely cry every time I hear it at all. And actually, Brittany put the little commercial snippet on today, and I was like, "Can you turn that down?" Like, are you trying to make me cry?
No, I'm not. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know when I'm going to be able to watch it. I'm going to have to brace myself for that one.
Yeah, that between that and Temporary.
Okay, well, that I listened to, and it broke me.
I mean, I can't. I audibly sobbed, I think, for both songs, but especially Temporary.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, like, watching the video back and like listening to the songs, I feel like my parents did such a good job growing up where I didn't realize how bad things were. But now, like, as an adult in hindsight, it's so scary to think about. And I think that's why I get emotional so much. Like, just thinking that could have happened. And obviously that's the point of the song. But I will say, like, if you've ever lost an addict or loved one, I feel for you. And yeah, that's how I feel about it. But it's a great video, and it's good. Like, it's fun to see clips of us when we were younger like that.
Yeah.
Even Mockingbird. But I can't even listen to that anymore without crying.
Mm-mm.
Like, the older I get, the less I can listen to any of the songs. So, but it is fun to see those clips, just not in that context.
I'm not crying.
But yeah, no, Brittany's not crying. You're crying. I've done enough crying, and I told myself I refuse.
No.
So
The number one thing that is very important that Hailie says is that when she was growing up, she didn't even notice all this stuff. That's how good of a father Eminem is. I don't know about Kim. I'm not speaking bad about her or anything like that, because I don't know, but Eminem is such a good father that despite going through addiction and all these things that even Kim was going through, Hailie had no clue. Like that's why Hailie, because most celebrities' kids grow up to be just weird people. Like, no joke. Like, they just end up going crazy and weird, and just Hailie is the most normal looking celebrity kid I've seen for the most part. Right? Because I know some celebrity kids, they look kind of crazy, blah, blah, blah. Some are chill, blah, blah, blah. But Hailie's been the most normal I've ever seen, especially because of the status Eminem is at. Because you got to compare Eminem's status to, like, really big superstars like Madonna, Michael Jackson, all these, like Elvis Presley. You compare their kids, they got, not to say that, their kids are completely weird, but, you got some things that it's like, it's a little off here and there. Kids end up doing drugs or something like that. I'm not saying them specifically, but I'm just throwing, things out there. You see a lot of kids that turn out to be weird because of the pressure of their parents, because not proper parenting. So Hailie, just the fact that she said that shows that how good of a father Eminem was as well. That he made sure that regardless of all the bullshit of addiction and all the spotlight and fame, he made sure that Hailie was still good and that she lived a normal life growing up. She still felt like, get to enjoy her childhood and feels like still a child. So that was a beautiful thing about this. That's the number one thing that I noticed when she was talking about it. And just overall, man, Eminem obviously being a great songwriter and, her having to hear that music, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be sad and beautiful at the same time. Like when Eminem passes, she's going to still have that forever. And she'll be able to show it to her kids, and then her kids are going to show it to her kids. And because think about it, in regular people's lives, now celebrities, just regular people's lives, we usually lose like track of our history. Like I know my grandfather, but I don't know my great-grandfather, right? How many of us really know our great-grandfather or our great-great-grandfather? We don't know most of the time because that kind of gets lost in history, But Eminem will be able to obviously be stamped in history forever. That's barring the fact that if this planet explodes or whatever, or history gets wiped out, Eminem will forever be here for her, and then her as well as her kids. Their kids can look back and be like, that's my great-great-great-grandfather, because they can see all this stuff. But yeah, that's cool thinking about it. But yeah, shout out to her for speaking on it, being open and vulnerable about it. And just overall, pretty great episode on the podcast as well.